And there's a whistle outside of the box. And that's going for United's way. Not quite sure what happened there. And it looks like Contreras will be the one taking the free kick. Allen will back up. No, it'll be Dawson Hall going to take it. They'll go short to Garibay, back to Hall. He'll go to Malunet in the middle of the field. Andreas back to Wood. Wood to Mansker. Mansker too hard of a first touch. Ball stays in play. Wood, his pass over cut off. Truillinger comes up with it. Truillinger through traffic. Brady, long pass up the field. Good cutoff, though, by David Van Vleck. And David turns on the jet, sends it up to Cruz. Brandon Cruz up towards Gustavo. Too long it goes. And a goal kick coming for the Bruins. Now that some of our technical difficulties have been taken care of by Noel.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, there's something happened with our audio for our video streaming on Twitter and YouTube. We lost some audio here for a couple minutes. I had to restart the software, so you might have some video feed with no audio. But you know, now we're back here. We got it working. Hopefully, it won't happen again. Just bear with us. We're pretty new with this live streaming thing, so we're gonna have mistakes here and there. But as the time goes, I promise you, we're gonna get better at it.
Alfaro with a long run and a hard shot that goes high over everything. But probably the best chance so far in the second half for the Bruins. And Alan Contreras will go run down the nearest ball.
And you know, right now, they're just going to try to, you know, waste some time. They're not in a big hurry. You know, they're not too worried about putting the ball back on the 6 and take a shot. So right now, you know, it's all about White Salmon starting to put some pressure in and pushing out forward.
Yeah, they're the ones that are under pressure right now. United happy to just dribble the ball around, lob some balls back and forth, clear it out of the back line, and make sure they're jumping in front of bodies. As Mansker goes down, trying to play it back to the middle of the field. He does to Sanchez. Back to Malunet. Back to Mansker. Mansker to Garibay. Garibay. That'll go off the face of a defender. Malunet stops his run. He got tripped and then threw his hands up but didn't keep running.
Yeah, and he would have the whole sideline to keep running since that player was the last one on the back for White Salmon. He could have kept running. He could have kept up his play. And I know he has a good left foot to get across.
Throw in coming for United. Malunet will throw in, goes short to Berrigan. Gustavo stops, turns, flicks it to himself, step over. Gustavo turns, and that ball is displaced off of him by Olivares. Comes back to it. Malunet turns, plays it back to Van Vleck. Van Vleck shields off Alfaro. Van Vleck still on the ball, trying to spin, and that ball will be played off by Romero Martinez. And Malunet will throw in again. Andreas to Berrigan, back to Andreas. Lefty trying to go inside the near post, almost got it to roll. But there was Federico Borgonovo, and his drop kick will go out of play, off the side of his foot and out of bounds. Santos Balbuena will check in for Berrigan.
And you're starting to see some players from White Salmon with their hands on their knees, you know. This United team came out here in the second half, and they're like, okay, if we don't put one in, we're going to let him come back. And if that happens, it's going to be a tie game. But you know what? They did what they needed to do. They put 2 more instead of 1, and, you know, they stretched their lead for a little bit, and they're feeling a lot better about themselves, giving them a hard chance for them to come back and put 3 in the back of net in the next 12 minutes. Right now, the defense for United is pretty solid. David Van Vleck is actually holding on their men pretty strong.
Yeah, they're doing a good job of covering, and I was wrong. That wasn't Santos Balbueno that checked in. That was Daniel Quijosa, probably the only smaller player on the field than you would see in Balbueno.
Yeah, and, Daniel Quijosa, he's about 5 foot or 5'1", around there, but he's one of those players that comes in here in the next last 20 minutes of the game or so, last 10 minutes of the game, and he's going to work hard. He's going to make sure he sprints and wins possession, and if he needs to defend, he's going to be there to defend.
He checked in, as so did Thomas Etheridge. Both of them only had a half to play, so they'll get some time now that they have this 3-0 lead. Patching surveys up to Mansker, and Mansker runs right over the ball. He nutmegged himself. Throw in. Mansker puts a head on it, gets it to Patching. Patching flicks it forward to Etheridge. Etheridge trying to run the ball down, turning, clearing as Salaya Aldana. That'll go out, throw in coming for United.
One of the things that I'm starting to notice here in the last 10 minutes, once the score is 3-0 on the United side, you're starting to see some players from White Salmon kind of pointing fingers at each other. It's like, hey, you need to be there. You need to be the one pressuring. They're kind of blaming each other for how the outcome of the game is going so far, and it's not helping their case right now. Yeah,
they're starting to bicker with each other on the field. If you were supposed to be here, and they're starting to turn on each other because the play isn't working on the field. Mansker went out. Jonathan Van Vleck checks in for United. Ball thrown in. Nobody in the area, and that ball will go right back out of play. Another throw in coming for United. Dawson Hall will let this one roll down the track before he goes and starts running onto it. With 9.5 minutes to play in regulation, United leads 3-0 over White Salmon. This ball will go right back out of bounds, and Brian Wood will grab it quickly, throw in, Patching redirects. Van Vleck knocks it down to the far side of the field as Modric Cruz on a long run. Cruz playing it up the field, turning is White Salmon. Back heel, nice back heel goes to Darland. A back heel of his own sent by Hernandez Sanchez goes off the knee of a United player. Bruins throw in. Alfaro goes down on the far sideline. That ball stayed in play. Brandon Alfaro. They wanted a call, but I think he just stepped onto the top of the ball and went down.
Yeah, and, right now, like you say, tempers are up. People are just pointing at each other. It doesn't matter whose team they are, and if they're going to try to get a call from the ref, they're going to start screaming. Frustration it's the thing that White Salmon is showing right now when they're just chasing the ball around.
Just trying to get anything going because, as we said, the United squad is content to lob balls back and forth, play it on the back line, a little triangle play here and there, work it across midfield, and then they'll play it backwards. They're not really pressing to get a score. If they do, it'll be great, but if they don't, they're more than happy to waste some time, kill this clock out, and keep this undefeated league season alive.
Yeah, definitely. And, right now they're doing a pretty good job of playing together as a team. They're communicating. They're making the easy play. They're actually not thinking about being fancy or anything. They just want to get rid of the ball, give that short, and then long, and just keep possession of the ball. They only have about 7 minutes to play, and they know that once that's over, they feel pretty content with where they are. And, they have that bite of that cake of the league title.
Quijosa taps it back to Patching. That was after Brandon Cruz made a really good play down that far sideline, tight-roping it. Back to Quijosa. Back to Garibay. Garibay, ball bounces through Van Vleck. at the top corner. Van Vleck turns, looking to shield the ball off. He'll go towards the corner. Stand there, back heel. Keeps the ball alive. Still up for grabs, and that'll go off of Garibay. Throw in coming for the Bruins. Sub will be made. And Patching will be the one checking out. And Santos Balbuena will check in. Throw in goes back. Line drive. Balbuena tried to run it down. Cruz will get there. Brandon gets one over the top towards Gijosa. Gijosa trying to run it down. Gijosa taps it around one. Gijosa can't get around Darland, but put up a good effort. Terwillinger can't settle that ball in. Sidestep by Etheridge. Came sliding in was Isordia. Garibay whiffs. Balbuena will take a shot. Etheridge trying to run it down, but getting there first was Federico, the keeper for the Bruins. To midfield. Cruz lobs it forward. Cruz runs the ball down again. Gets it to Gijosa. To Etheridge. Etheridge will lose it. Turning, playing it towards the sideline. On the run is going to be Alfaro. Alfaro, nobody running with him. Has no crossing option, but he will get the corner as he knocks it off of Dawson Hall. Brandon Alfaro with a good play. Coming over to take the corner is going to be Adrian Hernandez-Sanchez. Throws the hand up. Back post. Header trying to track through, and that was a great clear out by Brian Wood. I believe taking the shot in was Oliveras, but Wood was right there on the spot.
Yeah, and White Salmon is trying as much as they can to get a shot on target, just getting it on frame. But, you know, this United defense is doing a good job just staying in the back, helping out their goalkeeper and Alan Contreras, and just kind of communicating, make sure that the ball gets clear. Everybody on that white team of United is kind of just playing by each other, with each other, and making this team move forward with possession and with a purpose. There's about 3 minutes left in the game, and they're just passing the ball. They're giving those short passes, those triangle passes, like you said a couple minutes ago. On the other hand, we have White Salmon that they're doing kind of like that American football play, the Hail Mary, just putting it up in the air and hope for the best. And I don't think right now that's going to help their case very much.
Van Vleck with a high kick over everything. Jonathan Van Vleck. But yeah, I just said they're right now White Salmon's trying to get it all at one time. They're sending these long balls over the top, and they're going towards the sidelines, and their forwards are getting there, but nobody's running with them. So it's kind of not going to work because there's no one to pass to. There's really no angle. This back line for United can stay back because they already have a lead. They're not trying to press or do anything. They can just sit back and guard the one guy that's running down the field.
Yeah, you know, it's one of those things that they notice as players. You know, White Salmon notices time is winding down. Pretty much time is against them. And they're starting to realize that their only option is just try to go as direct as they can to create as many chances. But, you know,
Gijosa into the box, taps it to himself. Gijosa with the shot. Oh, just wide. Daniel Gijosa tried to get the shot in just wide of goal.
But that's the little things that I'm talking about. You're talking about a JV kid coming in for a half, for literally the last 12 minutes of the game on Daniel Gijosa. And he's going to put everything he has to make sure he gets a shot on goal, put himself in the stat book, and look at him. He's working hard. So is Thomas Etheridge on top. You're talking about two JV forwards that are giving this varsity lineup for White Salmon a headache right now in the last few minutes of the game.
Yeah, they're playing with some momentum. Gijosa had a really good play on the ball. Hall will let the ball go out of bounds off of White Salmon. There's 2 minutes left in regulation. Shouldn't be too much time added on. There hadn't been too many stoppages. Etheridge keeps the ball alive. Etheridge gets it through, back to Van Vleck. Cut off, but it'll go right to Garibay. Isaac stops, turns. Garibay gets it to Gijosa. Gijosa gets cut off, and Alfaro will get called. Free kick coming for United. Looks like Garibay will take it.
Yeah, and it's, you know, it's some distance from the goal. It's about 30, 35 yards out. So I don't know if they'll definitely go on target, but they're probably going to just keep it simple. They have the lead. They're probably just going to float it in and practice on one of their set plays.
Yeah, try to chip this one over the top, see what they can do. Garibay will back up. Ball is the 10 yards. Garibay goes back post. Header goes forward. Just wide. That went off of Jonathan Van Vleck. Van Vleck did get a piece of it, as this ball is sent to the middle of the field. Taken by the Bruins, and that'll be pushed out of bounds off of the foot of one of the United players. Truillinger to throw in on the far sideline. Truillinger towards Alfaro. It'll go under his foot, but it'll look for the cross. Has it, sidesteps, goes back towards the end line. Great sidestep, ball chipped forward. Good save by Contreras, and that'll go out for a corner.
Yeah, and Alan Contreras really cares about clean sheets. I've talked to him. I coach him for a little bit. He really cares about those clean sheets, and right now he's going to play as hard as he can just to keep that one goal allowed the whole season.
And he will, because that is the end of regulation. That ball got played in quickly, and that will do it as the United squad of Toledo and Winlock gets the 3-0 win over the White Salmon Bruins. We will be back with the post-game show right after this on the Eli Sports Network.
The clock has expired and the game is over. And next is the post-game show on the Eli Sports Network.
Port Centralia supports all students in their endeavor to reach greatness from the classroom to the field. The Port Centralia knows our students are the key to our future, just like the Port can be the key to yours. The Port Centralia is located halfway between Portland and Seattle, with easy I-5 access both north and south and rail links. You'll find low taxes in Lewis County, affordable housing, good schools, and an innovative community college, all important aspects for your growing business. The Port Centralia has the space you need for manufacturing, warehouse, office space, and developable land. Retail owners, listen up. Our new Centralia Station 40-acre retail and office complex is coming soon, and we have high-profile space for you right off I-5. For more information on Port Centralia opportunities, call us today at 360-736-3527 or go online to the Port Centralia website at portcentralia.com. Your business future awaits at the Port of Centralia.
Realtor Tommy Lowe of the Green Realty Group is the proud sponsor of the ESN Players of the Game. Remember, when you're looking to buy or sell your home, you need a partner in real estate success, and that's Tommy Lowe. Tommy believes in community and is involved as a youth football and soccer coach while supporting high school students. This is the commitment you get as your partner in real estate success with Tommy Lowe. Call Tommy direct at 360-791-3854 or go to his website at TommyLoweRealtor.com. That's TommyLowe Realtor.com. Tommy Lowe is your partner in real estate success.
The United Way of Lewis County is pleased to support the youth of our country in their endeavors in competitive sports and all extracurricular activities. We also support families through our many United Way agencies. Right now, it's an extremely important time for the United Way of Lewis County. It is our fundraising drive to help support the 16 agencies that serve the public. It's easy to help with a donation. Simply go online to lewiscountyyuw.com and make a direct donation or create a workplace direct donation campaign. The United Way of Lewis County, serving your needs today.
Pacific Sports Spa is now open in Chehalis. Are you an athlete, former athlete, or suffering from athletic type injuries? Then you need to stop by Pacific Sports Spa and check out the most cutting-edge therapy equipment assembled in one place in all of the Pacific Northwest. Pacific Sports